Starting the UK with The Guardian, calls for killing of Trump at funeral of Iran Supreme Leader Ali Khamenei. So the story reports that massive crowds gathered in Tehran for the funeral of the former Supreme Leader Ali Khamenei, chanting anti-American slogans and demanding revenge. Interestingly, the newly appointed Supreme Leader Mojtaba Khamenei remained completely absent from public view during the ceremonies, and the picture that you can see on the front page there shows mourners outside a mosque under a massive portrait of the late Ali Khamenei. Over in the Financial Times, the lead story covers exactly the same event with the headline, Ayatollah's funeral, vast crowds mourn late Iran leader but successor stays out of sight. So the paper again highlights how millions of Iranian citizens poured into the streets of Tehran to pay their final respects amid tight security. Despite the presence of senior government and military officials, the absence of the new successor continues to draw heavy attention. The image that they have gone for shows senior clerics and the sons of the late leader standing at the funeral proceedings. Now, Pakistan's Daily Times also leading with this story on the front page with the headline, Millions mourn martyred Khamenei as Iran vows revenge against America, Israel. The article notes that mourners filled the grand prayer grounds from early morning, carrying red flags that symbolize retaliation and resilience. Authorities expected up to 15 million people to take part in the nationwide mourning ceremonies across different cities. They have gone with an aerial view of the massive crowds filling the mosque, the Grand Mosque courtyard. And rounding out the coverage of these ceremonies and of the funeral, India's Hindustan Times has gone with the headline, Iran's leaders step out, signaling defiance at Khamenei's funeral. So the story points out that top Iranian officials and three sons of the late leader made their first public appearance since the conflict began, stepping out to project confidence and unity. However, the paper also confirms that the new Supreme Leader, as we've heard in the other papers, had still not made a public appearance. And on the front page, the picture is of three of the late leader's sons standing together beside a flag-draped coffin. Now, moving away from that story, the Washington Post is focusing on global climate. Massive marine heat wave may fuel serious storms and severe temperatures. So researchers are reporting that a huge patch of warm ocean water covering an area 8 times the size of the United States is currently heating up the Pacific. Scientists warn that this ocean fever could cause major ripple effects, triggering intense global weather events and extreme heat in the coming months. Now, moving over to the China Daily, the lead story is joint drill to begin. The report details that Chinese and Russian naval forces are preparing to kick off joint maritime exercises this month near Qingdao to strengthen their defense capabilities. Meanwhile, thousands of inspired residents in Hong Kong stood in long lines to tour visiting warships during a recent port call event. Here, the image featured with the headline shows Navy crew members working together on a military dock as a large warship arrives into port. Now, the Australian is leading with domestic politics. AI sway unions steer ALP. So the article reveals that the Labour Party has significantly changed its policy platform to give trade unions much greater oversight regarding the rollout of artificial intelligence in workplaces. At the same time, Prime Minister Anthony Albanese used a major party conference in Sydney to defend his government's tax reforms and gaming overhauls. Now, finally, we go to Bangladesh, to the Dhaka Tribune, which highlights a crucial public health concern with the headline, Overcrowded dormitories fuel scabies in residential schools, madrasas. So recent health studies have revealed that tightly packed living quarters and shared bedding in boarding schools across Bangladesh are causing rapid outbreaks of a very contagious skin infection among students. Health experts are strongly calling for regular medical screenings and better hygiene awareness to stop the disease from spreading further.